I used to think the worst part of working security was staying awake. Now I wish I could stop blinking. I'm telling you this because someone needs to know what happened at Obsidian Tower. My name is Nolan, and 3 months ago I took a night security job thinking it would be easy money. This is what happened during my shift on March 15th. I still don't understand it, but I lived through it. 2:30 a.m. executive wing, standard patrol route. I stopped at the glass panel to check my reflection. You know, make sure I looked professional, but my reflection smiled first. I hadn't moved my face yet. Okay, that's weird, I said out loud, just to hear my own voice. I checked my security badge. The employee number was different, 1 digit off from what I remembered. Then I found a digital recorder in my pocket that I swear wasn't there before. I pressed play. Day 847 of behavioral study. Subject maintains belief in singular identity despite evidence of multiplicity. That was my voice. But I've only worked here 93 days. The glass panel flickered and showed security footage. Me walking this same hallway. But my uniform was torn, and there were wet footprints behind me. The timestamp read 6 hours in the future. I looked at my feet. They were dry. Floor 32 is where things got personal. The first door I passed started whispering, a soft voice from behind locked wood calling out to me, then recounting the fight I had with my dad when I was 12, details I'd never told anyone. The second door knew about my ex-girlfriend. It whispered to me directly, then told the story of our last argument. But backwards. Suddenly I was the one who'd been unreasonable. By the third door, I realized these voices weren't random. They knew exactly who I was, and they were rewriting my memories, making me the villain in every story from my past. The fourth door creaked open slightly as I approached. The voice inside called to me personally, then whispered, "You're late for your shift." The fifth door swung wide. Multiple voices now, all addressing me directly. Then, "Come inside. We've been waiting. Don't leave us. You belong here." My shadow started walking ahead of me. When I stopped moving, it kept going for 3 more steps. I called out, "Hey!" just to test what would happen. My shadow turned around and waved back at me. That's when I started walking faster. The conference room clock was having a breakdown, 3:17 a.m., then 2:45 a.m., then 4:33 a.m. On the table were meeting notes in my handwriting, dated next week. The clocks aren't measuring time, they're counting something else. Every choice you make is being recorded. 4:17 a.m. is important. Don't ask me why. I tried to leave the building. The stairwell led to the first floor, then the first floor again, then the first floor again, an infinite loop. My phone was dead. The elevator buttons wouldn't light up when I pressed them. In the bathroom, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. Half of my face in the mirror looked 20 years older, wrinkles, gray hair, age spots. The other half looked normal. I never figured out why. At desk 41-17, my hands started typing on their own. There was no keyboard there. The computer monitor flickered on. Night shift log, entry 847, behavioral patterns recorded. I pulled my hands away, but they kept moving, like they were still typing. On the screen, text kept appearing. Subject shows increased agitation. Recommend continuation of sensory tests. Integration proceeding normally. Integration of what? I shouted at the empty office. The screen went black, then displayed. Query noted. Will be addressed in final interview. Papers started floating off the desk. My coffee cup hovered in midair. I grabbed it and it felt solid, but it wouldn't come down. I let go. It stayed floating. The break room mirror showed me talking to someone who wasn't there. My reflection was having a full conversation, nodding, shaking its head, even laughing. I touched the mirror. My reflection touched back, but 3 seconds late. "What's happening to me?" I asked my reflection. It mouthed back, "You tell me." Every reflective surface in the building connected somehow. I watched my reflection walk through floors I'd never been to, opening doors, turning on lights, even waving at security cameras. But I was standing still in the break room the whole time. The strangest part, my reflection looked more confident than I felt, like it knew something I didn't, and every choice I made changed the building. Turn left, the hallway stretched longer. Turn right, doors appeared that weren't there before. I noticed thin scars appearing on my arms every time I made a decision, like someone was keeping score. The weird part, in reflective surfaces I could see the scars appearing before I actually made each choice, like the building already knew what I was going to do. I tried holding my breath to see what would happen. The hallways seemed to contract slightly. When I exhaled, they expanded. I got the strangest feeling that somewhere else in the building, someone else was breathing in perfect rhythm with me. We were connected, this other person and I, in ways I couldn't understand. In the executive suite, I found someone waiting for me. Same security uniform, same face, but his eyes were completely different. "You're right on time," he said. "Time for what?" "The interview." He gestured to a chair I swear wasn't there a second ago. The nameplate on the desk read, N. Martinez. My name, but I never told anyone my middle initial. "Who are you?" I asked. "I'm conducting the behavioral study. You've been very helpful." "What study?" He smiled. "The one you've been participating in for the past 847 days. I've only worked here 3 months. Time is relative in this building. Some experiences repeat, some overlap, some happen backwards." He handed me a file folder. Inside were photographs of me doing things I didn't remember, talking to people I'd never met, walking through rooms I'd never seen, even sleeping in beds that weren't mine. "What do you want from me?" I asked. "Nothing more. The study is complete. Thank you for your participation." Then he was gone. The chair, the desk, the nameplate, all gone. I was alone in an empty room. At exactly 6 a.m., everything stopped. The lights became normal. The hallways looked ordinary. My phone came back to life. 17 missed calls from my girlfriend checking on me. According to my phone, it was September 16th. I'd lost an entire day somehow. I walked to the security desk to write my shift report. In the logbook, I found entries in my handwriting for the past 847 nights, all identical experiences, down to the exact conversations and events. But I only started working here 93 days ago. The day shift guard arrived, Robert, a nice guy in his 50s. "How was the night?" he asked. "Quiet," I lied. He nodded. "They always are." As I drove home, I kept checking my reflection in the rearview mirror. It looked normal, but I had the strangest feeling it was still having conversations I couldn't hear. That was 6 months ago. I quit the next day and took a job at a shopping mall. Day shift, lots of people around. I still don't know what happened that night. Was it real? Was I hallucinating? Was someone conducting actual experiments on night shift workers? I drive by Obsidian Tower sometimes. There's always a new night guard, never the same person twice. They last exactly 3 months, then quit suddenly. I tried to warn one of them once. He laughed and said I was just trying to scare him. His name was David. He seemed like a good guy. Last week I drove by again. There's a new guard now. David's gone. I found myself wondering, did David experience the same 847 nights I did? Is the new guard living through them right now? And the question that keeps me awake, if I experienced 847 nights in 3 months, what happened to the other 754 nights? Where did they go? I still have the scars on my arms. They're real. Last night I woke up at exactly 4:17 a.m. My apartment was quiet, normal. But when I looked in the bathroom mirror, my reflection was wearing a security uniform. It mouthed the words, "Welcome back." I don't work there anymore. I haven't worn that uniform in 6 months. The scars on my arms are spreading. If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment to share your thoughts about it, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss what comes next. Sleep tight, and perhaps avoid working alone in tall buildings after midnight.